I'm proud of my team. You know, it's tough in this league this year. And obviously we had a little bit of a losing streak there. And you never want one to lead to two, two to lead to three. And I was really proud of them because they didn't look back. And everybody wanted to look back. Everybody wanted to repeat history. And I wouldn't let them do it. I said it in a presser earlier this week. I wasn't going to do it. We were going to stay present. We were going to get better. And we went out yesterday and practiced for an hour and 15 minutes as hard as we could. As hard as we could. And I think that's exactly what you saw today. We competed, we were tough, we were physical, we got on the floor, we attempted charges. They're all the winning plays that you need. We call them attitude plays. And I think really that was the difference for us in the way we approached the game and the way we played the game.
Pat, when you only get 21 minutes out of Lamar, obviously very productive minutes, but to be able to win against that sort of opponent when he played basically half of the game, what does that say, and how important is that with respect to your depth?
You know what, again, it talks about our depth, but we're all-stars in our roles. We need to be all-stars in our roles. I'll go to Trent Buttrick. He gave us a heck of a minute. What a heck of a minute and a half, whatever it was. Block shot, did some good things for us. That's what you got to be. And Lamar's been getting in foul trouble in the Big Ten here. So he's got to be a little bit more intelligent. But Seth Lundy is playing really good basketball right now. I felt like Miles Dredd defensively played very well. Great to see the ball go in the basket for him. So it does speak to our depth. And it does speak to we could get better. This was a great game for us, but you got to put it back to back to back. So I felt like we played close to a 40-minute game.
And have you ever been in a situation where your team is lost by 30 plus, you know, one time to the team and then come back and beat it, not handily, but you know, it wasn't really that tight in the second half?
No, not my tenure here. You know, not my tenure here. And that's another thing. Like we didn't even talk about it. We didn't even talk about it. You know, what's in the past is in the past. We're two different teams right now, January 18th. And we have to come out and be ourselves. We have to compete and do what Penn State basketball does. It wasn't about Ohio State. I did not even bring up that loss.
Pat, you said a couple weeks ago that you didn't feel like you had to, you know, rush Seth along this year like you did have to with Lamar and Tony, you know, a couple years ago. You know, 2 starts later, you know, are we going to see his roles now continue to increase?
As long as he keeps producing. I mean, we can play 10 guys, but we're going to go with the guys that are playing well, competing, defending, and rebounding, getting on the floor. And then, you know, he's making shots too. I mean, he's shooting the ball particularly well right now. He was 3 for 6. And he hit some big ones in that first half for us. I think he had one in the second half. I mean, just when they were coming back a little bit, especially with Lamar being in foul trouble. So if he can continue to play well and play with confidence, which we will give him, but he's got to defend, he's got to rebound, got to stop fouling. But his role is going to be what it is.
Pat, there was there was a sequence in the first half where I think Mike and Myron were diving on the floor for a loose ball. You guys got it in transition and ended up in a set 3. And you looked over to the bench and you were very animated about that. And you guys held Ohio State to 34% shooting from the field in the first half. What can you say about the defensive effort and the intensity you guys played?
Yeah, it was we were missing out on hustle plays and winning plays. I said to them, guys, we're close. We're so close of getting out of this. You just don't realize it. If you can make one hustle play, one charge, one dive, one rebound, we'll flip this script. And in the first half, we definitely did. They totally bought in. Again, all-star in their roles. They got on the floor. They really competed.
Pat, was this a must-win game? Do you believe in that aspect, must-win games, but either from a resume standpoint, your team's sanity and confidence standpoint, to keep the fans engaged?
My sanity?
Yeah.
My sanity?
Yeah. Was this a must-win situation?
I think you have to win your home games. I mean, if you look across the Big Ten, it's going to be very difficult to win on the road. So you have to win your home games. Now, with saying that, was it a must-win? I don't believe in that. I believe there's a lot of basketball yet to be played. Was this? We have 13 left now. 13 games left, I believe. So there's still a lot of time. But it was great to get it. It was great. That crowd was amazing. The Thon families. I mean, I have 4 healthy children. And it's just amazing that we could be a part or partner up with Thon for the day.
Pat, there's been a handful of games this season where the team has played well in the first half and then come out in the second half and struggled to put really that full 40-minute performance together. Today, that wasn't the case. The team played really well in the second half. Was that a focus going into this game? Did you have an emphasis on that? And what did you notice about the second half, I guess, compared to the first half?
Yeah, I would tell you the emphasis was let's just take it one possession at a time or in 4-minute increments. Let's just try to win the first 4 minutes. And I think they did that. And then when they made their run in the second half, again, it was Penn State beating Penn State. We had some careless turnovers there that led to easy baskets. Then we calmed it down a little bit, took care of the ball, and some of the guys really stepped up, like Myrion Jones. He made some big plays. He didn't play as well there. If you look at the stat line, he barely played. So for him to step up that way was great. This league, if you don't play 40 minutes every night, you're not going to win.
John, I think, has been searching for that NIT form that he had a little bit this year. He gave you some pretty good minutes in ways that might not necessarily be reflected in the box. Did you get a sense that he was going to have a game like this, and how important is it to have that version of him behind Mike?
There's no doubt. I thought he played it well against Oturo. We tracked it, and Oturo never scored on John. Obviously, Weston scored on him today, but I still thought he made life very difficult for Weston, and he's really good, man. He's a really good basketball player. I thought John defensively was outstanding. We actually called some plays for him. He's playing better in practice. He's playing with more confidence. I mean, the dunk out of a timeout for a base OB, we're going to John. They don't think we're going to John, and we did. And he really took his time. Look, he's got more experience now. We're on the backside, right? We're on the backside. So he's starting to play with more confidence.
Coach, what was it like today, kind of to see Miles start to get back on track, hit a couple buckets, made a 3, and just take me through that?
Yeah, I think for him it was about his defending and rebounding. When he focuses on other things other than his shooting, I think the ball's going to go in the basket for him. It was nice to see him get to the free throw line. It's unfortunate he ended up missing one because he was 100% for the year. But I, as soon as that ball was reversed to him, and I knew it was going in, there was no thought process in it at all. But it started down on this end. It started on the defensive end and the rebounding end, and just making plays. Taking some pressure off him has been a good thing.
Pat, how have you seen Lamar handle his foul trouble as far as, remaining?
It's
in
been
the game?
different. It's been different. It's game to game. I think there's games where he really handles it well, and then there's games where he doesn't believe the 4 fouls that he's received. Maybe he fouled once, so that drives him a little batty. But he kept it together. He kept it together because he had some big baskets for us when they made a little run there under the 8-minute mark.
Pat, what do you think the next step is for Seth on the offensive end? Obviously, he's been knocking down threes in catch-and-shoot situations, but it seemed like in the second half there was more willing to post up and try to take some more mid-range. Is there room for him to grow, do you think, this season as far as becoming a more complete offensive player?
Yeah, I'd like to see him post up a little bit more. He shot a fadeaway there. I talked to him about it. I said, we're in the bonus. Fadeaways at this juncture of the game is not the best shot. Go to your left shoulder, a little hook, or drive the ball and try to get fouled, or drive it and kick out for a 3. We can play through you if you make good decisions. So as long as he continues to have a growth mindset and keeps learning, he's only going to get better.
Have you brought up shot selection to the team in the last 3 games? And today, was it just simply the ball going in the basket, or did you like the way you guys shared the ball today?
Other than a couple quick shots, one by Seth, one by MJ, I was pleased overall with the shot selection. We're obviously not taking as many threes because there's really good coaches in this league. Obviously, Chris is one of the best, and Ohio State's really long, and they're athletic, and they have great speed. We had to take good ones. Good ones, and I felt like we took good ones, and the right guys are taking those shots.